Everyone. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. This is our very first in the Wealthy Speaker on LinkedIn Live series. I hope you'll pencil us in every Thursday at noon Eastern so that you can come on live and join in our conversation. Our topic today is how to find a niche that pays dividends. Of course, we're talking about the speaking business, and our amazing client and special guest, Sheri Fitts, is with us here today. Welcome, Sheri. I am so excited to be doing kind of my inaugural Wealthy Speaker live on LinkedIn with you. Like, who better to do it with than you?
Well, you know what, Jane? I am absolutely game to join you wherever you want to go. It's been awesome spending time with you on Clubhouse, and then I love that you're just diving into LinkedIn Live. I got to follow in your footsteps. So thank you
Yeah.
for having me.
Oh, well, we have a lot to learn from you. And so if you're tuning into this LinkedIn Live, or maybe you're checking us out on Facebook, hey, check this out, Sheri. I want to show you a feature of Restream. And I know you're a fan of Restream. This is Monica saying, looking great, ladies. So we can pull
Oh,
people right
yay!
up on
Well,
stage and show their comments, which
comments.
I think is
That's
so,
fantastic.
so fun. So,
Cool.
we're talking about how to find a niche that pays dividends. And
Yeah, yeah.
I want to talk about two kind of separate pieces of that. One, I say pick a lane. And when I'm talking about picking a lane, I'm really talking about the topic. What do you want to be known for 5 years from now?
Yeah.
We have two people in our mastermind. Jason Harris is known for trust. Jennifer Darling is known for leveraging LinkedIn, and she's getting ready to
Indeed.
do an evolution into something else. And so that's picking a lane. But what we're talking about today is picking a niche. And as Susan Friedman says, there's riches and niches. So let's figure it out. And you, my dear, have been the queen of that. So talk a little bit about your history and what niche you chose.
And I just want to say, I love that you said Susan Friedman because she just fills my heart with joy whenever
Oh,
I get to
yay.
see her. So it's so awesome.
Awesome.
So I have been in the financial services industry, we'll just say for more than 25 years. And so when I left corporate America to be a speaker and do my own thing, obviously taking advantage of that experience and expertise, why would I go anywhere else? But I think that sometimes people go, well, if I pick a niche, right, then I'm excluding other people. And for me, I almost, as an example, feel like my niche might be too broad. I mean, think about financial
Yeah.
services
There's so much
as
under
a,
that umbrella. It's
oh my
wide,
gosh,
wide, wide.
as a global kind of right umbrella, to your point, it's almost too big.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw a chat from Odell Bazell, who is the amazing man that I spend every Wednesday morning with on Clubhouse. Love, love, love our chats. And he is an expert in the space of colleges and campuses, which I think is just awesome. When you can figure out where you belong, it's a beautiful thing. Okay, so let's talk about how this helped you, having this particular market helped you. First of all, you have a massive email list, do you not?
Yes, I do. It registers on the 10,000 mark when I have to pay for it, but to be fully transparent, I think it's about 7,568 is
About.
the email list that I have. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
7,568 people all in the same industry. So the
Yes.
beginning of COVID happens, and Sheri says, well, actually, you tell the story because I think it came from somebody else.
Yeah. So I have a dear friend. I'll give him a shout out, Luke Vandermillen from Principal. He is in the leadership role at Principal, and we have stayed in touch ever since I worked at an independent broker dealer, LPL Financial, which is another amazing organization. And so, we just kind of get together like every 2 or 3 months and just chat about the world. And on March 20th, 2020, Luke says to me, Sheri, the stuff you know people will pay for now. Because I've been beating this drum of digital and social and virtual for a very long time. And the financial services industry was really reticent to go there. And
Yes.
then,
And they
yeah,
could, they weren't really sure, right? I mean, there is a lot of regulations in that
indeed.
industry,
Yep.
but they were forced to shift the whole paradigm and talk about the program that you put together.
So I made a commitment to him at that particular time. I said, all right, I'll put together a program.
Mm.
And I created an offering called Lights Camera Sell, which was essentially to help, in my world, financial advisors and business leaders and salespeople understand how to start to use this medium and just the basics, like
Right.
lighting, audio, look at the camera kind of stuff.
Engagement. Yeah.
Exactly.
How to
Yeah.
sell on Zoom, how to sell financial services on Zoom. So look at
Hmm.
how narrow of a niche that is. And so you did it, it was successful. And then did you put it out to your list?
Well, what's hilarious is that, when I tell the story to Jane, from one email, from one creation, it
Mhm.
just started. Well, first in March of 2020, remember where we were? Everybody's like, well, that's a great idea, Sheri, but it's not going to have legs in August.
Right.
Right. And then in June,
Right.
so I had some initial
Yeah.
people who jumped on, and then it kind of quieted down a little bit. And then a larger organization, one of their sales guys said, all right, I'm going to do 4 workshops with you. And we created kind of this bespoke idea of offering specific teams, specific advisor teams, this particular workshop. What happened was this advisor also drank the Kool-Aid. He's a former football coach. He is a driver. He is always raising the bar for himself and for those around him, which is, I just adore him for that. And interestingly, he secured a significant sale because of what he knew, based upon
Um,
what I taught. And the sales leader at that organization said, "This stuff,
hmm.
this stuff matters. This stuff matters." And there, I got an opportunity to kind of do a little song and dance. You call it what do you call it? A showcase. I
Showcase
did
of
a
talent.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I did a little showcase for their leadership team and
Yeah.
called a few leaders on the carpet about how they looked on camera. And
Ooh.
right,
Ha
and
ha ha. Brave
because I
girl.
can, right, I can, but my friend couldn't. So um, then what happened is I ended up training the sales team inside this particular organization, and then they brought me on. In my world, there's something called value add.
Mm-hmm.
So, financial services, they have value add speakers fairly frequently because they can't just keep talking about their products over and over again because everybody be like, ugh. So
Right.
they brought me on, and I did virtual training across the country for a variety of different advisors and folks in the industry,
Mm.
uh, to the tune of I did probably about 50 workshops for them. And then I did other workshops, probably totaling about 80 in 2020.
So, first of all, I want to break this down a little bit because Sheri understands the problems in the financial industry. She understands the language of the financial industry. She understands who the players are and how they hire. I mean, that is the value. And the best compliment I think a speaker can get is, "Oh, I thought you were one of us. I thought you worked for our company. Like, this was amazing. I thought you were one of us." And so there is so much gold when you dig down
Mm-hmm.
into the riches and niches. And you have been just uncovering the gold. I mean, you're putting out big 5 and 6 figure package proposals. And so we've let's talk about a little bit about what you think kind of coming into our inner circle mastermind has done for you in terms of maybe thinking bigger in your packages and in your pricing?
Well, the one thing, Jane, is that resources that you have put together and available is phenomenal. And I haven't even like touched the surface, but I'll tell you that I was getting ready to do a proposal to an international mutual fund company that's based in Boston and then also in the UK last week. And I watched everything there was in your program set around sweet spot pricing.
Thank you, Lori Guest. Whoop, whoop.
Exactly. Another one, right? Another one. She didn't get a commission again.
That's right.
Right. But I did that, and it shifted my offering significantly by thinking about how do I put in, value. And back to your point about understanding the industry, value that meant something to my audience.
Right. Like solving
So,
the problem for them. In that moment of COVID,
yeah.
everybody changed to virtual. They were used to a handshake and getting together face to face. And you
Mm-hmm.
said, I see a problem and I know how to solve this problem. I know how to help advisors sell virtually. Boom, 80 engagements. When
Yeah.
on a year when everybody was like, their calendar is gone, 80 engagements because you were able to solve a problem in that moment. So good. But I want to come back to the idea that the value is there for people and they will pay.
Yes. Well, nobody in financial services listened to this. But here's the deal. When you bring value and when you offer value, um, when financial services has money, they have money.
Mm.
And what you asked me to do in that particular offering that I created, you asked me to raise my fees. And I went,
Okay.
I decided I'm going to go. So seriously, I offered them a small, no, we'll just say I offered them a small, medium, and a double XL. That's how I kind of did my pricing: small, medium, double XL.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And they decided to take the small, but in the email that they came back to me with, they really love the medium and the double XL offering. So this gig that I'm getting in November
It's a
is
showcase.
it's a showcase. But I'll tell you that it's going to be so much fun because I raised the bar for myself. I totally know, right, that I'm going to be able to kind of bring something unique and different to what they're offering right now.
Right.
And to your point, I know and love the audience that I serve. I mean, I started in financial services in you can kind of count insurance as that 1990.
Yeah.
So I was 4.
You started very young. Yeah.
Yep.
And so you really understand this audience, and there's a huge value in that. So, talk about what you do on a daily basis to put yourself in front of decision makers. Now, is it mostly incoming people who one of the benefits of being in an industry for this many years for you is that people are coming at you and you're putting together proposals and so on and so forth. So that is happening on the regular, is it not?
I will say, interestingly, Jane, I particularly like my family, like where I grew up is in the United States in the 401k industry.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I have to kind of like knock on their door hard because, that's Sheri. So I have to remind them. So there is MDRT found me.
Mm-hmm.
right?
They came out of
MDRT fell.
nowhere. There's been some other
Yes.
big contracts that I think have not necessarily landed on your lap. We're talking about years of consistent. Sheri Fitts
Marketing.
is an expert in this. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Years of
Yeah.
consistent marketing. And that's what really I think is the key to everything. So, number one, if you decide that you would like to go deep into a niche, that doesn't necessarily exclude you from all other business. It may eventually be all that you do. I remember a long time ago, Ron Culberson, who you probably know from NSA, saying, okay, I think I'd like to go all in on healthcare. And I'm sure in the first year, he probably took other engagements outside of healthcare, but then he
Mm-hmm.
got really focused. And I'm not sure where he stands today. But when you
Yeah.
decide that you want to go on, number one, it's a little bit brave, but I think it pays off in spades later on for you. So it could be that you just do all your outbound marketing in one direction, which will give you a lot of focus. And when you have 7,500 people on a list, you can go out and say, hey, I've got a new program. So have you promoted your new digital EQ program to your list yet?
Yes, I've started to. So one of the things that I am doing is more consistent email outreach. And, from a marketing perspective, I'm a marketing person, but I got into marketing because I was in sales.
Mm-mm.
And so I'm not a big fan of the email hack stuff. I don't try to manipulate people into opening my email. I try to truly add value in
Mhm.
in my email and ideas and things to consider. And I am pushing, financial advisors in my industry to do exactly the same thing that we're talking about here today. Pick a niche, because now, seriously, now the world is flat.
Yeah.
The world is flat. If you are a financial advisor and you work with dentists, and there are some that just only work with dentists, then
Mm.
you are that person.
You're the
You
one go-to person. And that's the goal, is to become
Yeah.
the go-to, the only choice.
Yep.
The
Yep.
only choice. Becoming the only choice should, start to be our mantra. I actually heard, I
Exactly.
don't know if I'm saying it exactly right. I heard this amazing woman. I want to say her name is Audria Richardson, and I'm hoping I'm getting that right. But she did this video series on Instagram that was just amazing. 75,000 followers on Instagram. So obviously she's making herself the only choice for lots of people. And I
Yeah.
thought, yes, that is the thing. In a sea of speakers, you need to be the only choice. And how do you get there? Find a niche. Find a
Well,
niche.
yeah. And Jane, here's the deal. In that small, medium, double XL offering, in the double XL offering, my email list is valuable. Right? My LinkedIn community
You
is
can offer
all around my
connections,
love, right? So,
right?
I as an example, I offered a 4-part LinkedIn live interview series, right?
Ah,
Where, so I
cool.
was like,
So
yeah,
they would be
yeah.
highlighted. Okay, so whenever you can make your clients the heroes, guys, I want to hear from you in the comments section, because we're going to pop you up on the screen here. We're laying down some gold here. When you make your buyers the heroes, have them on your podcast. That could be something that goes into your extra large package. A 4-part LinkedIn Live series. I love it. So now they become the heroes, and Sheri can interview them and make them the heroes, not only in their industry with other advisors, but also to their clients. That's what they care about. And I think, somebody correct me if this isn't right in LinkedIn Live, I think your feeds can be shared. So if Sheri had her feed all ready to go, then we would be streaming this live on both feeds, I think. But honestly, I'm still new to this and I don't actually know how that works. So if anybody knows about that, we're going to check
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Restream, where are you right now? Tell us how to
Stream,
do
we
that.
need to hear from you, and we need to know what the possibilities are. I read it somewhere
Mm-hmm.
that it's possible for your guest to also film. So that's going to be beautiful. So let's say you are interviewing someone from Prudential, and they have a LinkedIn live stream as well. Now you're going out on 2 streams, which is ultra cool. Today we're going out on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And really, I'm focused on LinkedIn Live. This is my baby. This is where I'm putting all my attention these days. But if you have any questions, pop them up in the box. And I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to show this up on the screen. I'm pretty sure it will say Facebook instead of LinkedIn if you're coming into us on Facebook. So would love to hear anybody's questions or comments. Let us know that you are out there. Odell, I hope you're still listening. We love having you here. Okay, so we've got you for about another 10 minutes because I know you need to hop on a plane to a speaking engagement. So, yes. So have bags, we'll travel. She's like packed and ready to run out the door the minute we hang up here. So let's talk about something that you've done in the last year that has paid dividends for you. What is something that you felt like, okay, that was a good use of my time and money?
Well, okay. So first off, I want to give a shout out to the National Speakers Association because here's how the whole lights, camera, sell came about.
Okay.
I went to the NSA, and I haven't been to an NSA meeting in a very long time. So let's preface that.
Yeah.
And I have a dear friend, Carl, and he actually, his wife works for a large financial services firm, so she connected us. And Carl's a speaker in the kind of the accounting and data management, data mining, and data kind of artistry kind of a thing. And Carl was going to the NSA winter meeting, and at this particular time, this was in January 2020 in Houston, and it was a winter sales meeting. And I went, all right, I'll go. And I decided to go with the intention of finding a $10,000 idea. Okay. And the one thing that I knew is that I needed to start getting my video world together for sure. And I went to that meeting, and I came home January of 2020, and I bought myself a green screen and a webcam.
Nice.
January of 2020, and started to figure out my lighting and started to figure out how it all worked.
You got in before the rush. You were
exactly. Yeah.
How intuitive that was, really.
Right. So here's what's happened. I look over there because that's where my old webcam is. I miss you. I love you. You were awesome. But what has paid dividends now is that this particular setup, that small, medium, and extra large situation, one, they remembered me because I was touching them from an email perspective, but two, they showed up at a Zoom meeting, or no, it was Microsoft Teams meeting, and there was everybody there. This wasn't just a small decision of one person. There was a variety of people that were there from marketing and their thought leadership effort. And I show up, and this is how I look. Like, this is a DSLR camera. I've got lighting here, and the funny thing is that one of the women in marketing said, well, they said, well, we use Zoom for the speakers. And I was like, yeah, because I have spent a lot of time and energy and money learning a virtual camera feature called Ecamm Live. So when I just turned around and said, no problem, all I did was no problem. Right? No problem. I'll just toss up my green screen and do a kind of a basic background, and I'll start to use Ecamm Live, and I'll bring the slides into my video feed. They were like,
over your shoulder. Nice. So you basically just said, here's a couple of bells and whistles, and you dazzled them in that moment, which not only took the pressure off of them to do a great production, now it's on you. And you've really taken on a lot of ownership with regards to the technology and making your clients look good. So I just want to say kudos for that. We are going to do a LinkedIn Live in the future, by the way, everybody, on leveling up your virtual, because everybody got their things in place over 2021 well, I guess it was 2020 and 2021.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now it's time to go to the next level because guess what, guys? This is here to stay. We all know that. And so whatever you've invested in, is there the next place? Can you go up to the next place? What looks next for you?
Well, and my shtick, Jane, right? My shtick in my industry is digital and virtual, which is you mentioned something about digital EQ. So as a speaker, here's what I know. I need to constantly be looking ahead. Now, I have a tendency to kind of look toward the bleeding edge of things. And so I do need to ratchet it back a little bit because financial advisors go, well, that's not me. And then they don't do anything.
Right.
But certainly, well, first off, it's kind of my hobby to see what's going on in the marketing world and what's going on in the digital world. So that's kind of my hobby. But then also that this is my world. So when, as my fourth quarter was crazy, there were times I was doing 2 workshops a day, sometimes 3. My prefrontal cortex was shot. I would come out of my office and I couldn't say a complete sentence. So, what I'm doing with this is raising the bar for myself. And what I'm doing with digital EQ is beginning to kind of bring everything together. So digital EQ is the intersection of emotional intelligence and digital influence. That's my terminology, digital
Mhm.
EQ. And so I'm building that all out. And I got to test it out yesterday with a major insurance company based out of Toronto. And that content, and then also bringing in the video feed with Ecamm Live and everything. And, I got to be a disruptor. I got to add value. And then I have to walk my talk. I have to be good on video and show people what can be done, with graphics and stuff. So
I love it. I love it. And
yeah,
I also love that you have brought your value up to meet the quality. Okay.
yeah,
So for those of you, if I like to probably, kind of plan ahead. And if we see some sort of variant thing happening here and meetings start to dial back, I want us to
yep,
have a plan. We need a virtual strategy for that. And so I
yep,
would say we want to up our game in terms of virtual and we want to hold stronger on our fees. I think a lot of people did themselves a disservice at the beginning of COVID by setting the bar very low for themselves in terms of fees. And we have been edging our way back up. Let us not take a collective step backwards, please,
yep,
everybody. The clients have the budgets they still need to provide, and now they know what to do too.
right.
So they're
Well,
not going to
and
be scrambling like they were at the beginning.
showing up like this,
Yeah.
being uber confident, and then taking this and translating it into value inside of a proposal.
Yeah.
I had no problem sending them my small, medium, and double XL
Yeah.
fees.
And I bet
Right?
you, I'm going to bet, I'll lay down a bet right now that they are going to pluck things from the other 2 packages and you're going to do a separate package that will be what you do with them going forward. So the first one, small package, will be a showcase. And then they're going to put together some customized thing just based on your list. They'll be like, I want that. I want that. I want that. And I bet you any money they'll want the LinkedIn Live, which is a really cool offering. So good for
Well,
you, Sheri Fitts.
yeah, well, here's the deal, Jane. Just a little bit of insight into financial services. I can say anything. Well, that's not true. But I am not a licensed individual. I am not selling any products.
Right.
So I can feature my clients, and then
Yeah.
that eliminates a compliance
The compliance issue.
situation. Now, we do have to play, inside of a
In
clear
order for
box.
them
I'm
to
not going
air
to
it. Yes.
lead
Yes.
them over the compliance cliff. I'm not going to do that. And they know I'm not going to do that because they know
They
I know
trust
compliance, right?
you. Yes. Yes.
But there is also that value because then they don't have to create their own podcast. They don't have to create
It's
their own
amazing.
LinkedIn Live, but they get the effect of pretty much offering it for sure.
So, how can you make your clients and prospects look better in front of their customers? If you can figure out a way to do that, we are talking really good things. Now, I'm watching the time here. Sheri has been gracious enough to, on the way to the airport. If people want to connect with you, or how should they do that? What's your preferred medium? Is it LinkedIn?
Find me here on LinkedIn and make sure you put a note in that you were part of this party with Jane, so that I can make sure. It's very sad, but I'm sure you're the same way, that I hesitate to accept invitations because I know the AI is going to step in and start to sell me something and send me a Calendly link. So
Yes.
make sure you put Jane in the subject line, and I would love to
There
do
you
what I
go.
can to, help you niche. If you
There
want to
you
know about the
go.
financial services niche,
Oh,
please.
beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we'll
Yeah.
continue to have these conversations. If you're listening in right now, let us know. Leave us a comment, and so we can see that. But I'm going to go ahead and put up something that, if you are looking for some help in your speaking business, just drop me a line, jane@speakerlauncher.com, or connect with me on LinkedIn, and we'll book an intro chat. Okay, simple as that. Let's just talk and see what's what. See if there's something that I might help you with. Maybe I can direct you towards a niche that is going to result in rich for you.
Woo, Susan.
Yay, Susan.
Thank you, Jane.
Well,
And shout out to Monica. Thank you, Monica, for
thank
testing all
you,
the feeds.
Monica.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Oh, look at that. We got some love from Restream. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. So Monica was
Cool.
actually testing all of our feeds, so I could actually see that YouTube would come up as a YouTube comment, Facebook would come up as a Facebook comment, and I just really love. We're giving some love to Restream today, and hopefully we will have some great times with you in the future. Restream, Sheri Fitts, thank you so much for your time. Your Uber is waiting. Get off and see that client and rock your socks off, which I know you'll do. Thanks, everybody. See you soon,
Bye.
Wealthy Seekers.